Real quickly, guys, before this episode begins, make sure to stick around to the end of the video to see the winner of Crunchy 1, as well as the comment question of the day. Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another episode of the Challenge Lock series, a series where we continue to show that not all locks are created equal. The lock I have the absolute pleasure of picking today is Lost Control by BillN, and he made his out of SFIC, which is a very unique choice for a challenge lock. We can see we have the operating key and we have the control key. So let's go ahead and throw this in the vise and get this episode started. Alrighty, so we have the lock in the vise. You can see the operating key removes the core. The locking lug does work. And if we take the operating key, you can see the pins are in the chamber. Let's go ahead and come on. So goal for this pick is we are going to be going for control. And the reason why I'm doing that is because if I pick this to operating, it would open the shackle, but I wouldn't have access to the core. But if I pick it to operating, I can get access to the core and the shackle. So that is our goal. So we're gonna see if we can do that. Oh, there we go. So we got to operating, and if I take the key in here and go like this, wait, come on, work for me. I just did this earlier. I know it works. There we go. All right, now we have it open. So let me zoom out just to show. And we do have the shackle open. Alrighty, let's go ahead and take this lock apart and see what's inside. Okay, so we have the lock gutted. And I'm going to take a second to show you the different parts of the SFIC because it's not often that you see one fully gutted. So first off, we have the core. No mods were done to this core. It's all stock. Here is the keyway. In this back portion here, there's two holes. If you look at this, you can see that's what fits into that core. And when you turn, it activates the actuator. Now we next have the inner sleeve. And the inner sleeve houses the control lug. And so one shear line is right here, and the other shear line is up here. So the SFICs have two shear lines, one for operating the lock and one for the control lug that allows you to take the core, remove the core out of the housing. And then lastly, we have the outer sleeve, which is like the Bible. And again, there's no mods to any of this. You can see that it's capped on top. In this bottom portion, it has smaller holes to show the pins, but the pins can't physically fall out of here. A lot of people think you need specialized tools to gut an SFIC, but in actuality, I just use the follower to gut it. Next, we have the key. So this is the operating key and the control key. And real quickly before I forget, this is just the faceplate. Make it look all pretty. So majority of these pins are all standard or wafers. I'm gonna real quickly zoom in because I'm not gonna show all of them on the microscope. Just want to show, you can see we got a lot of standard key pins and wafers. And I did talk with Bill, and he said that the keys were hand cut and the spools are homemade, in the fact that he took them to a machine shop and did them. So we're probably not going to be able to see tool markings using the microscope, but I will show off a couple of these spools. So the first one is more so a gin bottle and not so much of a spool. You can see a little bit of roughage on those edges right there. Then we have a wafer and a standard. Next we have a standard wafer. Chamber 3, we have a standard wafer, and then we have a spool. And you can see this one looks almost like a mirror finish. Like I would, even under the microscope, if he hadn't told me, I would think these are stock spools. Next we have a standard, and a wafer. Standard, and we have another spool. And again, a little bit of roughage on the edges, but it looks like almost like a mirror finish. And then we have another spool. Oh. And this one you can see a little bit of tool marking there in the center. That flat line right there. I'm not sure what caused that line, but it's definitely visible. And then we have a wafer. And then we have a standard, and we have the smallest spool I've ever seen in my life. At this size, I would say this almost acts like a serrated pin, unless it was spool. But again, very nice job. And lastly, we have one more spool. And we have a wafer. And all the springs are standard. There is no spring variation. So that is the magnificent pin work by BillN. Stay tuned to the end of the video to see who won the challenge lock and the comment question of the day. Welcome to the end of the video. You should be seeing on your screen the winner of Crusher 1. And if you'd like to claim this challenge lock, make sure to reach out to Mr. Paradise, and he will get it out to you as soon as possible. Now, unfortunately, the challenge lock we picked today is going to be going to keyless entry, but as you know, I don't like giving away, I don't like picking challenge locks that I can't give away on video. And so today we're going to be giving away Crusher by DataSpot for this week's giveaway. And if you'd like to win this challenge lock, make sure to comment down below using the hashtag CQOD for the comment question of the day. And the comment question of the day for this week is, what is something you did when you were younger that was probably the stupidest thing you've done? For me, probably the stupidest thing I did when I was a kid was my dad had just got a brand new truck. I think it was only like 3 days old. And I was really into Speed Racer, and he had some old spray paint cans laying around. So I went and I spray painted his brand new truck, and let me just say it was not a happy day for me as a kid. So comment down below what's probably the stupidest thing you did as a kid, and see you guys again next Saturday.